Our top story, we have all heard the now famous Bollywood catchphrase, winter is coming. But in Delhi, we may have to tweak it just a little bit. Yes, winter is coming, but along with it, well, what else but pollution? The city's air quality has gone from bad to worse. Just how bad is it today? Well, take a look at the data. Air quality is measured by an indicator that is called AQI. That stands for Air Quality Index. In some parts of Delhi, AQI has risen to more than 320. Do you know what the normal level is? Less than 100. Anything above 100 is bad for your health. By the way, 320 is labeled as severe, meaning you are effectively breathing in poisonous gas. I know what you're thinking at this point. Tell me something new. Why do you hate Delhi pollution every second day? Well, because no citizen deserves to breathe poison. We vote, we pay taxes, and then we have to deal with our children developing smokers' lungs because of the gas chamber that Delhi is, especially in winters. Now, we of course know who the habitual offenders are apart from politicians. The never-ending traffic jams, the industries located in outskirts of Delhi, the construction industry, and stubble burning in neighboring Punjab and Haryana. But is there another factor, a factor we are missing? Geography. Is Delhi's location making this crisis worse? Why are other metros like Chennai and Mumbai doing much better? And if geography is to blame, why did authorities not plan for it? It's like knowing your ship is sinking, but you punch more holes in it anyways. To help me understand if geography is playing a part in Delhi's pollution as well, is someone who knows Delhi's pollution very well, someone who has extensively researched it. This is author Siddharth Singh. He's written a book called The Great Smog of India. Siddharth, first things first, thank you very much for being with us here on Mirror Now. Help me understand this, because everyone is talking about parali or stubble burning right now. We hear it's a big factor, depends on what part of the year, but we hear it's a big factor. Now, most of the stubble burning happens in states like Punjab and Haryana. But those states have better air quality, don't they? Amritsar, for example, its air quality index is 182 today. Chandigarh is around 134. But Delhi is suffocating at 320. So while stubble burning is happening in Punjab and Haryana, those states are much better off, it seems, than Delhi. What explains that?
Thank you, Shreya, firstly, for having me. I think it's a very important conversation to be had. It's just a shame that we end up having this every year at the onset of the smog season. I think it's an issue that if we had been debating and discussing, as you rightly say, we have a right to breathe clean air. And if we had been discussing and debating this through the year, hopefully, perhaps, the government and politicians would have taken it more seriously. Now, coming to the question at hand, you're absolutely correct. Geography, it plays a major role in the air quality of any region, not just Delhi, right? So it's not that the vehicles in Delhi pollute more than the vehicles in Mumbai. It's just that Mumbai is blessed with a coastline and Delhi is not. It's not just the proximity to the coastline, but also several other factors. So you can think of North India a little like a bowl that has three sides, which is covered by the Himalayas. And in the winter season every year, the wind direction changes, in addition to which temperatures drop. That creates a atmospheric phenomena, which leads to all the pollutants in this part of the country just being stuck, unable to leave the area, unable to evacuate into the Bay of Bengal and other regions, which is the reason why every year at the onset of the winter, which is post-monsoon, we have a situation which, combined with the excessive pollution from farm fires, but also the existing pollutions from industry and vehicular pollution and so on, all of that just combine and are unable to leave because of the geography. And that's the reason why, even Amritsar and other places, as you say, not to say that they don't suffer from air pollution. In fact, on the farms itself, the people who suffer most, I mean, we in Delhi complain that, we are the ones who are having to face the problem. But in fact, the children of the farmers, the old people there, they perhaps suffer from it even more. It's just that the cities on the west-hand side of the farm fires are fortunately, safe from the problem, at least for the moment, because the winds are carrying it in the direction of Delhi.
Right. Now, Siddharth, you mentioned that, the pollution is Okay, so that's pretty exhaustive, but just to re-emphasize the point, you're telling me that Delhi to some extent is a victim of its own geography because cities with similar demography and traffic are not suffering like Delhi. So can we just, can we just say then that Delhi is particularly vulnerable?
Absolutely, Delhi is more vulnerable, and as a city that's more vulnerable, you have to go the extra mile to get the same kind of impacts. The lesson here is not that, oh, all is lost because of our fate. We didn't choose the geography. Geography just happens to be the reality. That's not the key takeaway here. The key takeaway is because Delhi is more vulnerable. Delhi, and in fact much of North India, should be going the extra mile to address this problem. So it's not as simple as just having a few electric vehicles or just having some form of solar and so on. That's not enough. We really have to think of northern India in a unified sense. Unfortunately, the current policies of the government of India looks at air pollution as an urban issue. It's not an urban issue that's separate for Noida and Delhi and Gurgaon and Kanpur and so on. It is an issue of the airshed of North India, because the quality of air right from Punjab all the way to West Bengal is impacted by similar factors of geography as well as meteorology.
So clearly geography is a big reason. It's something you're telling us. It's something that you have expanded on your book as well. Now, everyone knows that, right? I'm sure the city's planners know that. I understand what you're saying. Don't address just Delhi's pollution. Address the pollution of entire North India. I understand all of that. My question is, given the fact that you're completely aware of North India's geography, has that in your mind been factored in when plans are made to tackle pollution? I mean, in the first case, the assumption is, given the pollution levels in the city and much of North India, that there are no plans. Yes, there is something called a graded action plan, but do we see its impact anywhere? We don't see its impact anywhere. In your view, has Delhi's geography been factored into all these plan makings, as it were?
I would say, unfortunately, it has not been the case. You can, I think people find it easier to visualize this if we were thinking about a lake. So think of it as a large lake, and the entire lake is polluted. It has froth and there's filth in it. Can you realistically assume that one small corner of the lake can have clean water while the rest of the lake is dirty? That's not possible, right? The water quality of a lake will be similar in most parts of the lake. We have to really clean the whole lake to ensure that any one part of the lake is clean. So Delhi is just one part of the lake. Unless we have coordination and action across this. So it's not that this graded action plan only for Delhi. If you stop construction here, that will suddenly magically, transform the air quality. You have to think about the other regions as well. That's unfortunately not happening. So, in the case of climate change, which is also an international issue which spans the whole world, all the countries, in 2015, the world met and agreed that something needed to be done, and we globally, most countries, in fact all countries, ended up signing the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement basically brought together all countries towards a common objective. I really believe that India also needs such an effort to bring together all states, the central government, as well as municipal bodies and so on, especially in northern India, to sign a common objective towards air pollution. That common objective is what India lacks currently. And you can name it anything. You can call it the Patiala Agreement or whatever. It doesn't matter. Point is, bring people together and give them verifiable and measurable targets that they have to attain in a period of time where people can hold them accountable if they fail to meet those targets.
Siddharth, if our politicians had the time to actually speak about real issues away from all the politicking they do, even on severe matters and important matters like pollution, maybe all of them would get together. It's been said for a long while now that the governments of Delhi, the government of Punjab, the government of Haryana, the government of Rajasthan, the government of Punjab, the government of Uttar Pradesh, all need to sit together with the central government and sit together not in October, not in November, but possibly January, and start planning about what needs to be done so that November isn't as bad as it always is. It comes to a point when you have to leave North India and travel somewhere if you don't want to fall sick. Everyone I know, for example, in Delhi right now is unwell. And you can't even describe that feeling of I mean, it's a feeling of, there is no feeling of well-being, as it were. You constantly feel tired, people just want to sleep, no one wants to venture out, and pollution is playing a huge part in it, something that most people forget. I want to very quickly ask you one question, because this is a question we get a lot, and I don't know how to explain this. This may be, there may be some degree of repetition, but anyhow, bear with me. Just compare Delhi to its, Indian peers, like say Mumbai or Chennai. Mumbai, you already have a bit. Mumbai has more people than Delhi. Chennai has historically been a larger industrial hub. So why are those cities better off when it comes to pollution?
It's just that they are blessed with winds that can put a reset button on the quality of the air every passing day. So it's the same amount of pollutants that are coming out from the industry, same amount of pollutants that are coming out from the vehicles, except the winds carry them away inland, or in some cases, the winds carry them away from the land towards the sea. In either case, they're fortunately seeing a reset on their air quality, which that does not happen in Delhi. In fact, as we discussed, the air gets stuck, unable to leave the northern part. There's a lot of research gone into how we can overcome it, but unfortunately, in the case of northern India, it's such a huge area. It is impossible to take care of in just with just one or two things. It really requires a systemic approach to really transform our thinking. In fact, it's not just a thing. It's not just a phenomena that is observed in India. Los Angeles is another global example, which also, like Delhi, is surrounded by mountains or hills on three sides, leading to air pollution getting stuck in that particular, just above the city of Los Angeles. And therefore, it required a lot more effort for Los Angeles to clean its air compared to many other American cities.
Finally, can I ask you this? Is there any scope for damage control?
Absolutely. I mean, we cannot lose, we can't lose hope. There are certainly things that can be done in the short run. I mean, I would say perhaps not in this year, although there are a few things that can be even done now. So, for example, one thing that I always notice in the peak of the winter in Delhi, when air quality is really, really poor, and because of the atmospheric phenomena, air pollution is unable to escape. So, if you burn something, the smoke just remains in the vicinity. At that period of time, because it's so cold, people have no choice. A majority of the people don't have a choice and are forced to burn wood and cardboard and paper to keep themselves warm. So is there something that we can do in the absolute short run, which is in the next 2 or 3 months, to avoid the burning of this, so that people are, remain warm, but at the same time, don't have to use waste to give them that warmth? Secondly, can we have a campaign to ensure that there is no waste burning happening absolutely over the next 2 or 3 months? I think not that this would solve the problem, but in the very short run, at least 5 or 10% difference in air quality will be observed in those neighborhoods where those burnings are happening.
We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much, Siddharth, for joining us and helping us understand what exactly is going wrong. Yes, part of it is geography, but a large part of the problem is man-made as well. We leave it at that. Thank you very much. The geography, as I said, is only one part of the problem. This is not a get out of the jail card for politicians. As Delhi's air quality worsened, so did the political slugfest. Today morning, the papers had an interesting report. Even though the Delhi government has banned all construction activities, this is not a blanket ban. You can still see the dust kicking up from government construction sites. So guess what? Delhi's Environment Minister Gopal Rai did. He landed up at an under-construction site on Deen Dayal Upadhyay Marg. Turns out the construction site is part of the BJP's headquarters. Not only did the minister shut down the construction, he also fined the company 5 lakh rupees. The BJP, meanwhile, hitting back at the Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab. Their spokesperson Gaurav Bhatia saying that the Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann must resign over his failure to stop stubble burning.
अभी मैं यहाँ से गुजर रहा था तो हमने यहाँ देखा कि सारा जो है वो मिट्टी यहाँ खुली पड़ी हुई। फिर मैं जब अंदर आया तो यहाँ देखा कि यहाँ पे चोरुच पे काम भी चल रहा है, पत्थर कटिंग का भी काम चल रहा है। पता चला है कि L&T कंपनी जो है ये काम कर रही है। अभी यहाँ जो कर्मचारी हैं उन्होंने ये बताया कि ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी का राष्ट्रीय मुख्यालय शायद बन रहा है, अभी हमें कंफर्म नहीं है। लेकिन यहाँ पर CUPM के ऑर्डर का पूरी तरह से उल्लंघन पाया गया है। तो अभी तत्काल प्रभाव से इसको बंद करने का जो है निर्देश दे दिया गया है और 5 लाख का जो है जुर्माना लगाया जा रहा है।
Arvind Kejriwal and the Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann should resign immediately. कहते थे कि ये जो हवा प्रदूषित हो रही है दिल्ली में, ये जो पराली जलाई जा रही है पंजाब में, उसका परिणाम है।
And another flashpoint, of course, is machines. The central government had asked the states to distribute machines to limit the impact of stubble burning. The question is, did the farmers get that equipment? Well, that depends on who you ask. The Punjab government claims it has started distributing these machines, but some farmers are yet to receive it.
सर केंद्र सरकार ने ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਸ਼ੀਨਾਂ ਭੇਜੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਹੈਪੀ ਸੀਡਰ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਸਵਾਲ ਖੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਣੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਹਾਲੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਈਆਂ।
ਸਰਕਾਰ ਵੇਖੋ ਬਈ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਤੀ ਕਿਸਾਨਾਂ ਕੋ ਗਲਤ ਵੋਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ।
ਪੰਜਾਬ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫੰਡਸ ਐਲੋਕੇਟ ਕੀਤੇ ਸੀ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਤਹਿਤ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਰ ਬਲਾਕ ਵਿੱਚ 2-2 ਮਸ਼ੀਨਾਂ परचेज करनी खरीदनियां सी। टेंडर पे आई थिंक भी टेंडर कॉल करन तो लैके मशीनां आउण तक 15-16 दिन लग गए सानूं ते मशीनां साडे कोल पहुंच गईयां। असीं 4520 मशीनां ऑलरेडी पहलां फार्मर्स नूं सबसिडी ते दे चुके हैं।
जो ये हम आग लगा रहे हैं जी, हाई कोर्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी इनको बोला था सारी सरकारों को कि भी जिमींदार को जो है कंपनसेशन दी जाए, पर किसी ने कोई कंपोजिशन नहीं दी, कोई मशीन नहीं दी। जैसे कि ये स्टेट सरकार कह रही है हमने मशीनें दी हैं, किसी को मशीन नहीं दी। अपने लिए अपने परिवार को पालने के लिए ये काम करना ज़रूरी पड़ रहा है। सर ज़िला मोहाली के अंदर 500 एप्लीकेशन गई है, जिमींदारों ने दी है, जबकि पैसे भी देने जिमींदार ने, फिर भी उनके पास ये मशीनें नहीं पहुँची। 113 मशीन पहुँची है।
Let me go across to our political guest this evening because, well, if it's pollution, there has to be some politics around it. Nikhat Abbas, you're a BJP spokesperson. You're joining us on the broadcast. Harishankar Gupta is a Congress spokesperson joining us. Huda Zariwala is a political analyst, will be speaking on behalf of the Aam Aadmi Party. And we have Vimlendu Jha, our old friend, environmentalist, who puts things in perspective for us and calls out all political guests on our panels usually. Mr. Huda Zariwala, can I come to you first? Miss, I beg your pardon, Huda Zariwala, can I come to you first?
Sure. Absolutely.
Yes, Miss. Please, I do apologize. I wasn't looking at the screen.
All good.
Can I ask you this? Delhi's AQI right now, Delhi's AQI today is 320. This is not air anyone should be breathing. I want to ask you what the Aam Aadmi Party government is doing. Now, you will tell me that there is the graded action plan that is already in place. We understand that graded action plan is already in place, but in phase 3, all construction activity is supposed to stop. Government projects are going on, and today, Gopal Rai, the environment minister of this city, lands up at the BJP headquarters to do what? To play politics, ma'am. And say, देखो बीजेपी वाले कर रहे हैं construction और dust फैला रहे हैं, गंदगी फैला रहे हैं. You know, this sort of politics doesn't help because everyone, all citizens know exactly what is happening.
Absolutely. Let me start answering that question by giving you just a little data about our neighboring states. By that, I mean Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. So this is a very recent data from the Indian Agricultural Research Institute, which said that the stubble burning, the parali, this year is as low as almost 320 fires being burned as opposed to 620 in the year 2021 and 1,935 fires in the year 2020. So, I mean, if you're going to blame just the stubble burning, that would be, I mean, that would really not make sense for this year at least. Now, according to the Consortium for Research on Agro Ecosystem Monitoring and Modeling from Space, which is the CREAMS, which monitors the stubble burning on a daily basis and provides the reports, it has been seen that this year the pollution rise and the stubble burning is more from the Uttar Pradesh side, which saw instances as high as 14 times last year. So the pollution is not just from Delhi itself. We have a huge amount of pollution coming from the neighboring states. I mean, let's not forget Ghaziabad. Let's not forget Faridabad. In fact, so much so that even Gujarat is facing higher levels of AQI as compared to last year or the previous years. So why do we not forget that? I mean, the air does not follow any political route. I mean, the air in Delhi, it is not just the air that we're talking about in the city itself. I mean, Faridabad is an industrial place. Ghaziabad, the other states of Uttar Pradesh and Haryana, they contribute as much to the air quality index, to the to the severe problems of air pollution as much as I mean,
So, ma'am, you
it
have
cannot
been
be a
kind
vacuum.
enough
It
to
cannot
give
be
us
just
data
Delhi.
from Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. So let me just tell you about Haryana. You're saying that farm fires are low in Haryana this year. And yes, farm fires in Haryana have seen a dip
They're low.
at least this month.
They're low.
There is a
They're low
reason
in
for it.
Punjab.
There are
In
other...
Punjab this year.
There-
Punjab this year. In Punjab this year. The data I was talking about was for
No.
Punjab. It is low from Punjab this year. But if you talk about Kanpur, just today's AQI is around
No, ma'am.
343, which is an alarming AQI. Yes, please.
So are you telling me, is the point of your argument, ma'am, help me understand this, that Punjab gets a lot of flack and the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi gets a lot of flack for the pollution in the city, but it's actually not our doing. It's actually not the doing of Punjab. It's actually not the doing of Delhi. It's Uttar Pradesh and Haryana that is to blame. I think that is the import of your argument here. Vimlendu, would you want to respond to her?
Points. The other...
Okay. Let Vimlendu come in. Vimlendu, would you want to come in here? I mean...
So Shreya, clearly, as in the AAP spokesperson, clearly AAP has boycotted the issue altogether. They're not interested in issues of air pollution, unfortunately. That's why they send someone called an AAP supporter every time, last 15 days. You know, the reality is that if you look at, and I've been saying this again and again, last week we actually heard that, you know, the government representative saying the same thing what the lady is saying here, that this year stubble burning has stopped. And look at the numbers. Reality in last 4 days,
lowered.
Okay. So we've been saying this again and again, that because of unprecedented rainfall in the first weeks, stubble burning was not suspended, was postponed, and that's actually picked up right now. Last 3 days, stubble burning has increased, and it indeed is bringing in almost 15 to 20% of pollution to Delhi. And what Siddharth was earlier also talking about, the reason why, due to geography, which basically also means that, yes, indeed, because of wind, there's almost a lot of stubble burning and the wind coming and the pollutants coming to Delhi. And that's why Amritsar is not as polluted as perhaps Delhi is. And then there's Delhi's own local pollution. And in this particular case, we've seen that the government of Delhi has completely failed in looking at a perennial source of pollution, as what you were talking about as well, you know, construction, demolition activities, 365 days rather than on 1st of November or 31st of October, and similarly transport and other sources. And at the same time, not having this entire collaborative approach. Indeed, it needs an airshed management, but airshed management responsibility is of respective states, and also have a collaborative approach. As in citizens of Delhi, you know, I've been unwell and sitting at home last 3 days. They're not really concerned and bothered about what an LG or a CM says or what the other state says. Imagine I came to Delhi 25 years ago, and, you know, Shreya Dikshit was in power at that time, and we were actually fighting with Shreya Dikshit on several of the environmental issues that time. But that time we didn't even know, I don't even remember who the LG was, and, you know, if there was division of power and so on and so forth. Right now, unfortunately, every second child in Delhi is unwell. And if the AQI, by the way, Shreya, 320 is the average. If you actually go and look at the real-time data, it actually is around 500. It actually reaches 700 at night at several areas, and which basically means it's toxic air. And rather than giving a response with a smile and a makeup, it's important to take responsibility, accountability, and we need the government representatives to be present and tell the citizens of Delhi that what are they actually doing. And all three stakeholders I'm talking about, you know, government of Punjab, government of Delhi, and the central government will have to come clean and be responsive. You know, what is what is really bad in all of this is that, this year's debate will be over in maybe 10 days. Then we'll wake up again and you can replay the same debate next year as well. And we'll have the same set of political representatives trying to justify their action. Imagine none of them will accept that they have actually failed in really fixing Delhi's air, which is costing people's life, mortality and morbidity because of a collective of issues and their collective failure.
Sure. So, Nikhat Abbas, can you really then put it just on the Aam Aadmi Party, on Punjab's Parali and the Aam Aadmi Party not doing what it is supposed to do in Delhi? There needs to be a collaborative approach. We have had someone who has studied Delhi's air pollution very closely. He says, think of it like a lake. You can't,
Shreya,
say that I'm cleaning up one part of the lake. Ek minute. Let me finish my question. It's like you try and clean one part of the lake. If the entire lake is dirty, it simply won't help, which means that you need to clean up the entire lake, which means you need to clean up the air of North India. North Indian states, which are ruled by the BJP and ruled by the Aam Aadmi Party. Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan. Why are they not talking to each other? Again, today there was a press conference done by Mr. Bhatia. Let me complete. You will get your turn. Today, Mr. Bhatia from your party held a press conference again today and saying in February, the central government wanted to talk to everyone. Wanted to talk to the Aam Aadmi Party about pollution in Punjab and in Delhi. There was no response. The Aam Aadmi Party says exactly the same thing, that we have been approaching the Environment Minister to speak about Delhi's pollution, how we can sit together and collaborate and ensure it doesn't happen this year. There was no response. Essentially, you don't want to speak to each other, only do tutu meme when pollution levels peak. That is happening this time also.
Can I speak now?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Shreya. Isn't it evident enough that on a panel discussion since about a month, you always see a BJP spokesperson, wherein when you go and invite the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, they always send you the supporter and no, as a political analyst or an AAP supporter, and no spokesperson. It is very clear that if a spokesperson or a political party cannot send somebody to represent or talk about the environment, Delhi's environment specifically on the panel, would they be interested to talk to the governments? No. The central government has been raising this issue since so long, and they've been telling to the Delhi government that let's sit and discuss, and all the other states should come on the same panel and have a discussion. But somebody is shying away very much from the panel of this discussion. So why would they come to the government panel? One. Two, for my first question has to be from Hudaji. I want to know from her that when you talk about other states, why aren't you talking about right now that Punjab's Parali has increased? It hasn't decreased. Correct your surveys and your reports. Since before Diwali, since 10 days, it drastically increased, and that is the reason the stubble burning. The AQI level went up to 594 in the afternoon today. I'm not talking about the evenings or early mornings. It went up to 594 I have the screenshot I can show you if you want. Now, the Punjab government, when it was run by INC, the Aam Aadmi Party had everything to blame on the Congress party that, the Punjab governments are not taking any actions and the stubble burning is happening, which is why we are being targeted and that Delhi is having the polluted air. Today, you have the government there in power. You have the government in power in Delhi. Where are the smog towers? My question remains the same. Since 9 years, 8 years, you've been in power. Where are the smog towers? And the smog towers you built are shut down today. Why? Where are the the water sprinkling you promised when you were in power, when you wanted to be in power and you were like, we will do this, the MCD works we're doing. Today, MCD is doing their jobs. Specifically speaking about the Delhi's pollution, MCD is doing whatever they can. They're doing the water sprinkling everywhere in the Delhi, which is one way to control the pollution. But what is Aam Aadmi Party is doing? Give me 3 reasons that I should not be blaming Aam Aadmi's party in Delhi and in Punjab for creating the pollution. Apparently only one day.
But you have not given me a single reason as to why the Aam Aadmi Party is alone to blame. Hari Shankar Gupta, you're representing the Congress party here. Why does Rahul Gandhi not speak about pollution? Why does the Congress party not speak about pollution? I mean, we need a political party that, at least has a political conversation over something as important as pollution. आप लोग भी बात कर लिया करिए कभी-कभी.
बड़ी मैं आपका धन्यवाद करता हूं श्रेया जी, आपने मुझे भी बोलने का मौका दिया है. मुझे तो लग रहा था कि शायद भूल ही गई कि मैं भी पैनल में हूं। देखिए, राहुल गांधी का जिक्र क्यों किया आपने? राहुल गांधी का जिक्र क्यों किया आपने? आप पॉलिटिकल बात कर रही हैं, आप एंकर हैं, आपको इस ढंग से बात नहीं करना चाहिए। इस पोल्यूशन से राहुल गांधी का मतलब है
मैंने
सरकार
कांग्रेस का जिक्र किया था, राहुल गांधी का जिक्र नहीं किया था। राहुल गांधी का जिक्र आपने किया है। गुप्ता साहब,
मेरी बात सुन लीजिए, पूरी बात सुनिए ध्यान से, एंड गिव मी सफिशिएंट टाइम सो दैट यू हैव गिवन टू अदर्स आल्सो। दिल्ली के अंदर केजरीवाल की सरकार है और सेंटर के अंदर मोदी जी की सरकार है। दिल्ली में मुझे बड़ी हैरानी इस बात की है कि पूरा का पूरा डिबेट घूम रहा है सिर्फ पराली के जलने पर, उसके पोल्यूशन के इर्द गिर्द घूम रहा है। शायद किसी को ये नॉलेज नहीं है, हमारे जो एक्सपर्ट बैठे हुए हैं वो जरूर जानते होंगे, लेकिन उन्होंने भी नहीं कहा इस बारे में। दिल्ली के अंदर एक्सपर्ट्स का कहना यह है कि 50% से ज्यादा व्हीकुलर पोल्यूशन है, 50% से ज्यादा व्हीकुलर पोल्यूशन है। और आज भी दिल्ली के अंदर सैकड़ों की तादाद में, हजारों की तादाद में गाड़ियां रोज के हिसाब से सड़कों के ऊपर आ रही हैं। क्या कभी किसी सरकार का, किसी व्यक्ति का इस तरफ ध्यान गया कि नहीं गया? पराली है, पराली जलती है, लेकिन पराली जलती है एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम स्पैन के बीच में। लेकिन दिल्ली का जो व्हीकुलर ट्रैफिक है वो तो हमेशा के लिए है और रोज के हिसाब से गाड़ियां बढ़ती जा रही हैं। आपने सिंगापुर की कहानी सुनी होगी। सिंगापुर में नई गाड़ी खरीदना बैन है। एक गाड़ी सरेंडर करोगे तो दूसरी गाड़ी की बात लगेगी, वो भी आपको लाइन में लगना पड़ेगा। लेकिन दिल्ली में क्यों नहीं हो सकता ये चीज? ये सरकार क्यों नहीं देखती? अब दूसरी बात सुन लीजिए, आपको दिल्ली में एयर पोल्यूशन की बात नहीं है। दिल्ली में यमुना गंदी मैली है, कूड़े के पहाड़ बने हुए हैं, एयर पोल्यूशन है, और तीनों की तीनों जगह पर केंद्र और दिल्ली दोनों जिम्मेदार हैं। आप समझिए वो कैसे? कूड़े के पहाड़ हैं, नगर निगम में एमसीडी है, लेकिन दिल्ली सरकार भी अपनी जिम्मेदारी से बच नहीं सकती। यमुना मैली है, नमामि गंगे यमुना प्रोजेक्ट उमा भारती जी को बना दिया, हजारों करोड़ रुपए का बजट बना दिया। वो जिम्मेदारी किसकी है? नमामि गंगे की, केंद्र की है। लेकिन दिल्ली का 22 किलोमीटर का स्ट्रेच 2000 करोड़ रुपया केजरीवाल ने खर्च किया, लेकिन वैसा का वैसा ही है। और वायु के पोल्यूशन के बारे में तो आप लोगों ने बात कर ही लिया है। तो मेरा कहना ये है, इसके ऊपर भी रोशनी डालनी चाहिए, इसके बारे में भी बात करना चाहिए कि दिल्ली के अंदर क्योंकि
गुप्ता जी,
बढ़ रहा है।
इसके बारे में तो रोज बात होती है, इस चैनल पे तो इसके बारे में रोज बात होती है। मैंने आपसे सवाल बड़ा सिंपल किया था, जो इस पे आप भड़क गए कि भाई कांग्रेस का पार्टी भी बात कर लिया करे पोल्यूशन के बारे में कभी कभी। आम आदमी पार्टी और बीजेपी तो लड़ते रहेंगे। आपका सवाल ये था मुझसे कि सिर्फ पराली के बारे में क्यों बात होती है, क्यों चर्चा होती है? पराली के बारे में चर्चा इसलिए होती है बिकॉज इट इज विजिबल एंड इट इज वेरी इजी फॉर पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज, दैट इज द बीजेपी एंड द आम आदमी पार्टी, टू पॉइंट फिंगर्स एट ईच अदर, play politics, create noise in the studio, and then go back and do nothing about it. If you start talking about 50% pollution because of vehicular pollution, because of vehicular reasons, that is something that is easier to that is something that is difficult to fix.
पोल्यूशन के प्रति कोई फोकस नहीं है। और
तो आप दिलाइए ना, आप तो ऑपोजिशन हैं।
हाँ, तो मैं बता तो रहा हूँ आपको, मैं तो बता रहा हूँ।
आप तो ऑपोजिशन है, ऑपोजिशन का काम क्या होता है? मुद्दे उठाना।
श्रेया जी, एक ही सोल्यूशन है उसका। सोल्यूशन ये है कि दिल्ली में और देश के अंदर कांग्रेस की सरकार आएगी, वो इसको ठीक करेगी। दोनों पार्टियां 8-8 साल में फेल हो गई है। कांग्रेस की सरकार आएगी, वही काम करेगी।
नहीं, वो तो ठीक है, लेकिन शीला दीक्षित जी भी थी,
वही काम करेंगी। शीला दीक्षित के काम को नहीं समझती आप? 15 साल दिल्ली के अंदर शीला दीक्षित ने नक्शा बदल दिया।
नहीं, शीला दीक्षित जी के समय में भी बहुत पोल्यूशन था।
बहुत तो था, लेकिन इतना नहीं था
रहने दीजिए, लेकिन
जितना नहीं था जितना आज है। श्रेया जी, 15 साल में दिल्ली में जितना काम हुआ है, ये सीएनजी की बसें जो दिल्ली में चल रही है, ये किसकी देन है? सीएनजी की बसें जो चल रही है दिल्ली में, किसकी देन है? शीला दीक्षित की देन है। केजरीवाल की देन थोड़ा है, केंद्र सरकार की देन थोड़ा है।
चलिए,
शीला दीक्षित ने 15 साल में दिल्ली का नक्शा बदल दिया।
समय खत्म।
चलिए, धन्यवाद।
गुप्ता जी, से समय खत्म। Thank you. And my only question to you was, why does the Congress party, as an responsible opposition party, not raise the issue of pollution, not just in Delhi, but the entire North India? It is their responsibility as a responsible opposition to do that. That was my question to you. Nigat Abbas, thank you very much for joining us. Harishankar Gupta, representing the Congress party. Huda Zariwala, representing the Aam Aadmi Party. And of course, Vimlendu Jha. Thank you all very much for joining us. I'm slipping into a quick break on the show.